Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Matt and John Make a Podcast live stream.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Why can't you hear me? I don't see why you can't hear me, but I can hear me. It looks like everything's working.
You went on mute there, buddy.
I didn't hit anything. Well, way to ruin my intro there, John. So, anyways, what was I saying? Oh, welcome back. This week we're reacting to AEW NXT, as well as at the end, giving our predictions for this Sunday's Takeover in Your House pay-per-view. So, this week's going to be a little bit different for the simple fact of I didn't get this chance to see not Takeover, holy crap, Dynamite this week. Because I started late. My whole schedule today was all messed up, and sleep schedule's all messed up. So I was taking a nap, so I woke up late. So
I cannot hear you.
I don't understand. Unmute. Whoever's watching, am I muted? I don't understand. I'm going to keep on talking because it makes sense. Let me see. How can you not hear me? You were just hearing me.
Okay, yeah, like my AirPods just went completely out for some
Charge
reason.
your AirPods. You're making me look like
okay. All right. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I'm back up. For some reason, that thing just did not want. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, after that nonsense there.
Charge your AirPods.
No, they're completely charged. Like for some reason, sometimes they will just go completely out for like no reason whatsoever without warning. So I guess I just had to.
Thank you, Apple.
Disconnect. Yeah.
Okay, so pretty much I was just saying, my schedule was all messed up. I didn't see Dynamite this week. So we're going to start there, and we're going to end with the Takeover predictions. So, John, since you obviously watched Dynamite, let's start it off with Dynamite, and I'll chirp in if need be.
You mean I'm chiming? Chirping?
Chirp, chime, the same difference. Yeah, chirp like a bird. Yeah, okay. Annoying bird.
All right. Well, now that I can actually hear things, and it doesn't feel like that I was talking in a freaking silent room. So let's discuss about AEW Dynamite for June 3rd of 2020. Pretty solid show for the most part, and we'll break it all down here. So the first thing that we kicked off with was a video referencing all of the protests and with the riots going on for the past week, and then we get into a Dynamite recap from last week's show, and then we begin with the tag team championships between Kenny Omega and Hangman Adam Page versus Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. This was okay, I would say. I do think that this thing went on a little bit too long here. I mean, and Dynamite or AEW does have a bad habit in making these things a lot longer than they should be, just because I mean, like, you don't need every single tag team to look amazing. I mean, like, it's just not really necessary here. But some things I like here. We did see a few camera shots at FTR, the formerly of the Revival in WWE. So it looks like they're slowly are planting seeds for that eventual match against Kenny and Hangman there. Um, but as for the match itself, Penelope Ford, about a quarter of the way through, she got kicked out for basically attempting a Hurricane Rana on like a Hangman who completely no sold that. I love that because that should not be realistic at all for him to be Hurricane Rana by someone who's a lot smaller than he is. Um, um, but some, but one issue that I did have with this match, just with the tag team rules, and with as long as a Rick Knox is involved, um, these quote unquote tag team rules just pretty much just like don't even exist. Just as far as like count outs, just like the amount of like times that stuff should be disqualified, kind of these same things that we talked about. And on Twitter, actually, one of the um of the formerly of the revival kind of said, hey guys, can we enforce some tag team rules? Like that's been something that has been something that really needs to be fixed. But with that said, I'm pretty solid match. Kenny and Hangman win, and that was pretty much the end of that. Um, I wonder. Well, okay, so now they will obviously be having a tag team title defense at Firefest against Best Friends, which that is officially happening. Matt, we officially have now dates for those for fire fights for Fighter Fest. It's actually going to be a 2-night thing on July 1st and July 8th, which is essentially about 4 weeks from tonight. So as far as things that have been made official for that show have been Brian Cage versus Moxley for the AEW title. Um, Obviously Hangman and Kenny versus Best Friends. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that was made official. I'm drawing a blank right now, but anyways, I'm moving on now. We had we had a recap of Tully Blanchard basically just tearing it in on Sean Spears. Matt, did you see that on Twitter
I
from
didn't listen
the
to
past
it.
few days? Okay, yeah. So basically, this was just him, Tully, just laying it in on like Sean Spears to basically cut out all of the comedy. PS. This this also stems from his outing against Dustin Rhodes, a double or nothing, and he and the whole point of this backstage thing is to give him a like a missing piece, which he gives Sean Spears a black leather glove. A black leather glove is apparently is the missing piece to make Sean Spears a winner here. Which
And hey, it helped
okay,
OJ. It helped
I
OJ.
was like, okay then. So yeah, we're just going to move on there. Then we get a match between Brian Cage versus a dude named Sean Dean. This was pretty short, probably about 45 or 60 seconds. Obviously, Cage wins pretty strongly here. We then get a promo by Taz here, building up for Brian Cage's eventual title match against Moxley. basically Taz, he was pretty disappointed and also mad that 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 John that John that John that John Moxley isn't taking this whole challenge very seriously, um, and he just basically just trying to inform him like, hey, like, this is no, like, this is not a like normal guy sort of thing, and then and then eventually Moxley comes out, and before he even enters into the ring, Taz says, "Be very careful when you enter in." Um, and like Moxley answers Taz's comments about him uh, about him smiling on commentary, and about him and uh, about him about him not taking this seriously. Basically, he turned it around as to say, "Hey, I love on fighting, I love on violence, sort of thing." So that's kind of how he gets off, essentially. And then and then and then
Renee
they
Young's
pretty much
taking notes.
right, and then he pretty much ends the segment by telling Cage that he's in over his head, and and that and that and that he is swimming with a different breed of sharks. So this was sold pretty well for their title match here. I don't expect any title change here. I mean, this is just a good way into introduce Cage, even though I think it's probably a little bit too soon, obviously, but I would imagine he's going to be booked pretty strongly in this thing. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm very interested to see how they book around around this year, because I really don't see Cage getting pinned, and nor do I see with Moxley getting pinned either. So
See,
maybe a like draw or a count out or something here. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
this is like another issue with like they're they're almost putting themselves in the corner, AEW, with these new people they're debuting, like these big men. You did it with Lance Archer. You're building him up. He loses to Cody. Um, who else? Brody Lee. He's this big thing in the Dark Order, and uh, he gets put in the
Well, and
he puts in that
specific
match
thing
against
though too.
Dean. Not
It
Dean.
was,
John. I mean, it is the
how many
filler.
times are you gonna freaking call him Dean?
I don't know. It's near and dear to my heart. Apparently,
I guess so.
I'm just used to saying Dean Ambrose for whatever reason, even though I haven't said it in like years. So, and then you do this, and now they get back on topic. You do this with this Brian Cage in a situation where, I mean, rushed too quickly maybe to the title picture.
I don't think so too. I mean, like, it just depends how they actually book this year. Like,
Right.
if they if they have him getting pinned, yeah, it was stupid. But if he's going to look really strong and doesn't get actually pinned
Yeah.
or anything, then like it's just a good way of like of bringing him in, and and already making him a pretty big deal. And to
Yeah. I don't think
and,
he should. It's yeah. Obviously, if he gets pinned, it's crap. Uh, but you got to do a thing that nobody gets pinned or loses, because he doesn't shouldn't deserve to lose in a former fashion. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's interesting to see how they do this, but it's like they're rushing people too quick. And on the other flip side of that, you can say, well, they have nobody else because
Right.
with everything, it's a no win
COVID
situation.
kind of screwed everything up.
It's a no win. Yes, yeah, kind of. It's an understatement. It's a no win situation to be in, but it's unfortunate with these new guys.
For sure. And then
that was my issue.
mhm. And then we get a scene of Lance Archer. He's at some garbage dump where like he's beating up some
Hawks.
dude.
Oh,
and
he's murdering Hawks.
Yeah, like he was hurt someone and pretty pissed off after his title loss against Cody. Basically, he says he is not a spawn monkey and he is a freaking monster, and basically he's going to be out for blood. Whoever that he sees next.
Did he really use Spot Monkey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I had a very good laugh about that too. So then we get a backstage segment with Private Party and like Matt Hardy at some bar, which this was kind of weird. To where Hardy says that he's sorry if he potentially hurt Mark Quinn, who was really selling his meat from last week, some 6-man tag with the Bucks.
Right.
And eventually, I think we're getting some like 3-man group here, or some like mentorship thing with them Hardy and them. It was kind of weird and like random. So I'm not exactly sure how.
Yeah, it's a weird,
very weird dynamic.
I mean, it's I don't know. Well, obviously I didn't see it, but it's just weird going from the Elite to Private Party.
I mean, if anything, I think they want to just, if anything, pair them with someone who has a like name and some credibility.
Does it seem like they're, because obviously Hardy has these different personalities. Mm-hmm. Does it seem like he's going to have one personality with Private Party and another?
He came here. He came here as like as just like
regular.
Yeah. As I saw pictures of Hardy. Like he wasn't broken here. Right. So I'm not exactly sure where this is going, but apparently they are going to be calling themselves Hardy Party. I'm just waiting to see your facial reaction about Hardy Party.
I don't hate it because it makes sense. Because I don't hate it because
Party hard.
No, Hardy, because that feels like something I would come up with.
Yes.
So if I could come up with it, I'm okay with it. Hardy Party, as much as it's corny, I'm okay with it. It's kind of funny in a way. This grouping can go either way. Like either it could be good for Private Party, or it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see for me. Then again, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then as Hardy, he is leaving their confrontation. He runs into Sammy Guevara backstage, and basically he tells him, Sammy, hey man, we are all good now. Nothing but nothing but respect for you. And I'm seeing he gives him a confused look there. So not exactly sure what that was about, but just something to keep in mind there for the future. Because it does seem like that they are starting to plant small seeds of the inner circle cracking a little bit. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on there. Then we had a video package recapping last week's battle royale to determine who would face Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship, which obviously Jungle Boy won. Then we have Colt Cabana versus Chris Jericho, and a pretty short match here. This was okay. And when Chris Jericho is coming out, Sammy Guevara saying the absolute worst version of freaking Judas, like it just like
that continue. Sorry to interrupt, but that should be. What was Jericho's face as that was happening?
He was doing his best to stay in character. I'll just say that. Like, he didn't know half of the actual lyrics. It was like mumbling half of the time. It was just, I was like, oh god.
Okay, so
I'm not sure.
I was saying if Jericho was looking like, if it was like purposely with like a face of disgust or what, or something along the line of that, that would be more telling. But I think this is another seed planted there, which it's subtle in a way. So yeah, I think it's becoming more obvious that at least Sammy is going to be broken off, in my opinion, or I guess obviously in your opinion. That's what it's seeming like.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just something to keep an eye on there as we go forward here. And as for the match between Colt and Jericho, Jericho wins, and that's all that I'll pretty much say here. Nothing too special here. No, it went about 8 minutes, something like that. And after the match, we get a promo by Chris Jericho. He's talking crap about Iron Mike Tyson. And it's becoming pretty obvious. And I was kind of concerned too that they were going to be setting this up for a Fyter Fest, but after this segment, pretty clear they'll be saving that for All Out between Jericho.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So then
make it on pay-per-view, not TV.
Right. Yeah. So Chris calls out Tyson. He says, "Come on out, baddest man on the planet." And who comes out? Our boy, freshly squeezed, Orange Cassidy. He comes out strolling along, gets into the ring. He takes Chris's right hand, puts it in his belt, takes his left hand, puts it on the other side of his belt. And then Hager tries to attack him, and Orange Cassidy just squirms his way out of the ring and poses with Chucky T and Trent. And so it looks like to me that we probably are getting Orange Cassidy versus Jericho at Fyter Fest, which makes me very happy because, for one, we are not getting Tyson versus Jericho at Fyter Fest. And number two, this match is going to be so much fun, and it's going to cause Matt so much pain.
I take it back. Put Tyson on
arrogance.
I take it back. Put Tyson on free TV.
It's going to irritate my co-host so much, so it's going to bring me so much joy. So I personally cannot.
This match if this match is longer than Colt Cabana, what did you say? 8 minutes or something?
Yeah,
I
would think
less than
I think
10.
it's going. Do you recall when they did like when they did Chris Jericho versus Jungle Boy, like basically I would say back in December ish.
Oh hell, I don't. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I think it's going to be something similar with that, where basically if you last 10 minutes, then the match is over regardless, and
that makes it better.
I think it's going to be something similar.
I hope so.
Like that. I don't think that it's going 15 or 20 minutes.
That makes it. I like that better.
Yeah, I think that's probably where that's going to be happening there.
Yeah, if it's just
that's what I hope to.
That makes it. Mm-hmm. Yes, if that happens, I will be more okay with it.
Okay, then we had a Dr. Britt Baker vignette here on her road to recovery, which this was hilarious. She's basically like has this overly dramatic theme music in the background, and she's just like she's like trying or with the trainer there is trying to actually work with her, and he keeps on giving her too many heavy weights, so her Britt's assistant basically is constantly bugging in and giving her lighter weights, which was pretty funny, to be honest with you. And then for some reason Tony Schiavone appears out of freaking nowhere, and basically him the athletic trainer Baker and Baker's assistant are posing together. I thought it was hilarious. I hope they do this every single week with her. This is just tremendous.
One of the weekly highlights of the show.
Yeah, it's just her personality has come out here, man.
Yeah, she's found a groove.
It. Yeah, she has found it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then we get a match between Big Swole versus Nyla Rose. And this was probably one of Big Swole's better matches here. I did think that this went on way too long. If Big Swole was going to actually be going over here, I probably would have been a little bit fine with it, but she did lose. So I was like, did this really need to be that long? So obviously not. Obviously Nyla wins. Then after the match on Big Swole, she has a small interview with Tony Schiavone, which gets interrupted when basically Baker runs her what I call her Hooker McFarlane mobile, which is essentially what it was. Runs into where pretty close to where Big Swole was at, and she just starts talking a bunch of trash, and then a Big Swole she grabs a steel chair and just starts chasing after Baker. So I think we found out probably what they are doing for All Out here. It seems to be between Big Swole versus Britt. So I'm very interested to see how they go this for the next.
Didn't they have a little bit of something a while back?
Yeah, and they really didn't really.
Yeah. wasn't in between. It wasn't in between like Nia, Britt, and Big Swole or something. Like at one point, if I remember correctly.
And this was back. I want to say back in December or January or something like that. But yeah, there was something between that. But this year felt pretty good though. To be honest with you, Big Swole has improved.
Yeah, they need
and like you you can definitely see that. Because
no, go ahead.
Okay, and as I've said, she has a ton of personality, a ton of charisma. She just needs to get a little better in the ring, and like she has all of the makings to be a pretty big star for the company there.
Yeah, they need to build. Yeah, they got to get more people going here.
Yeah,
with
her
with the division,
right? And I said this on Twitter tonight that honestly the only person who truly matters right now and there is probably Baker in AEW's women's division right now, and that needs definitely to be fixed. So hopefully that happens there. All right, then we get a small Darby Allin segment where basically he says about Brian Cage, because basically from beatdown that he had at Double or Nothing, he has not been cleared to compete as of yet. Basically, he tells Cage, "I will have the last laugh." So obviously, they're going to be going into Cage versus Darby at some point. I would think that's probably something that's going to be set up for All Out. So we'll see how that goes along there. Then we had an interview with FTR with Tony Schiavone. This was really good here. Matt, I would definitely go out of your way to see this here.
I gotta go watch it.
Yeah, you're definitely seeing a lot of Cornette's critiques here. I guess you could say basically calling out a lot of the tag teams who don't actually go by tag team rules, more specifically with a Pentagon Junior and like Phoenix and their whole style, and they were really discussing how that is completely against what they stand for professional wrestling, and basically as they also talked about when Schiavone asked them what does FTR stand for. Basically, they said it's basically whatever that they want it to be. And then Tony Schiavone says, you know, you guys are a part of probably the best collection of tag teams, and they just start going off and just like naming a few of those tag teams, and then they eventually get to with the Bucks, and basically they said this is not a like dream match, and they just want to punch these guys in the face. And when Tony asked them, "Hey, why didn't you guys attack them when you came in?" And essentially they said, "Hey, you know, when eventually that we do face these guys, we don't want any excuses." Meaning they will not attack them or anything, because they essentially want to settle who truly is the best tag team right now. So then towards the end of the interview, Tony Schiavone, he gets up. He was like, "You know what? I'm going to say it." he was like, for the absolute longest time, I thought that FTR stood for fuck the revival, and they bleeped out both the fuck and the revival there, and how Tony said it was like he was like, fuck the revival. Like, that had me dying there. But eventually Butcher and the play come down. They are pretty pissed off that they were attacked by these guys. This eventually leads to confirming that for next week we are going to begin FTR versus Blade and the Butcher, and basically FTR tells them, hey, don't be so serious and do not take it personally.
Did they drop the Beyond part in Bad and Bath with Buddy?
No, I'm afraid not there.
Was she there?
No. Basically, you're not going to believe this. They have taken her out.
Yeah.
Like,
was she with QT Marshall in the crowd?
Yeah, they've been running a small angle on Dark where she's basically with him now, which is kind of weird, but yeah, it's on Dark, man. It's on AEW Dark.
Was there an explanation why she just left?
Nope. Or actually, I don't even know, since I obviously
don't watch. They left the ultimate franchise of Bad Bath and Beyond.
Yes, I know how devastated that she must be, but
I'm devastated. Yeah. This is I swear, this is like Otis and Mandy Rose. You have her versus QT Marshall. I tell you, they saw that and goes, the unlikely couple. It works. Take her off. Give her to QT, even though QT honestly, is not Otis.
Honestly, she probably is going to be getting a better reaction with him than with.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree.
Bad Bath and Beyond,
because they didn't do Bad Bath and Beyond didn't do a damn thing.
No, obviously.
Besides being hired from MJF, and that went away quick.
Good. All right, then we get a small Colt Cabana promo, which he's pretty frustrated of his recent losses to Chris Jericho, and previously against Archer in the TNT Championship tournament, and then he starts to be getting recruited by the Dark Order and Mr. Brody Lee. So we'll see how that goes there. I really don't care regardless about that. So then we move on to the main event of the evening, which is for the TNT Championship between Cody Rhodes versus Jungle Boy. And man, this was a really good match here. I cannot praise Jungle Boy enough, Matt. He's just getting better and better every single week. Whatever it is, he definitely has it to me because obviously he had a tremendous match against MJF from Double or Nothing, and then here and here with Cody, just really good pacing, and Matt, the streak has now ended. Cody Rhodes hated Blade, so you knew at some point
shocker
that was gonna happen. Shocker, but yeah. One other spot here was when Cody and Jungle Boy, they get sent through a table on the outside. That was pretty cool. And during the match too, there was a small interaction between Jungle Boy and MJF, that was pretty cool too. And 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 this match eventually ends with Cody Rhodes hitting his crossroads, and he's getting the 1, 2, 3. And this really put over Jungle Boy pretty well here, even in defeat here. He just continues to just get better and better here. And to be perfectly honest with you, Matt, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite guys on on Dynamite. Just I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot speak enough about him, and the show goes off the air with Cody standing with Cody Rhodes holding up his title with the rest of his family, and that was AEW Dynamite there.
Okay,
Mr. Matt.
Okay, we get to NXT. We'll go over this real quick and then give our predictions, like I said earlier, for In Your House. So we kick off the show with Candice LeRae versus Mia Yim. Again, this was announced last week. This was kind of a, I don't want to say fairly short match, and you'll understand in a minute. This ended with a double count out with both of these ladies fighting outside the ring. And when they're fighting, Tegan Nox comes out to try to stop Candice, because that was teased last week. And then as they're doing their thing by the ring, Tegan's back is turned. Dakota and Raquel Gonzalez attack Mia Yim, and then they're attacking Tegan, and then Shotzi Blackheart comes out and joins the fray, fighting, I guess, Raquel, because they fought last week. So there's a whole bunch of different stories happening here. And then as Johnny Gargano is helping Candice, here comes Keith Lee out to help check on Mia Yim, Johnny, and Candice get back in the ring. And then it was announced, the ring announcer announced per William Regal, that we're going to have a mixed tag match. So we come back from break with this. This was pretty good, this match. I love this heel turn with Gargano, because I think he's playing like this cowardly heel perfectly. Like in a way it works for me.
Right.
And then with Candice, I think this is giving her in general more personality than just what she was before, just like the bubbly baby face, like everybody likes, like almost one-sided. But I think she has this nice twist. I think it's working for her, at least for me, in my opinion.
She definitely has a lot more personality. I feel here than she does as a babyface.
Almost like a Britt Baker situation. How this heel turn is
it's pretty similar if you really think about it.
So Johnny Gargano, he's fighting in street clothes, because he wasn't supposed to be wrestling, which makes sense. And the other thing that makes sense, at the end of this match, Keith Lee's going for his powerbomb, but Gargano takes out his car keys from his pocket, and he pokes Keith Lee in the eye, and then Candice gets the roll up on Mia Yim for the win. So I mean, I like that. It makes sense. I mean, if you have car keys, you have street clothes, and the ref's distracted, use it. I kind of like that finish. With that, and so Johnny has momentum going into his NXT North American Championship match at In Your House against Keith Lee. And at the end, I believe Keith Lee was kind of on the like laying like in the ropes, and his hand I think was on like laying on the steps or something, and yeah, and I think he like like stomps Keith Lee's hand like on the steps or like kicks it or something like that. And he takes the belt and lays it across the bottom of the ramp right in front of the In Your House logo, and they go there. Then we get a little quick video package about Karrion Kross and Tommaso Ciampa, hyping the match on Sunday. Then we get a backstage promo with Dexter Lumis. He's asked how he likes Dream's chances against Cole on Sunday. Doesn't say anything, walks off, and it brings back like a an easel, whatever, you know, to draw, you know, people paint with, like a big piece of paper, and he starts drawing stuff, and then we cut away from that. We'll get back to that in a moment. Then we have a Drake Maverick promo outside, an interview outside. Says he feels no pressure. It's either going to be the best day of his life or the worst day. So he's just going to do whatever he wants. And he just, again, doesn't feel no pressure with his match later tonight. And then it is announced after this that Adam Cole and Velveteen Dream's match will be a backlot brawl this Sunday.
Yeah, I've heard a few things about this from Fightful that supposedly that just from the visual that they were describing, this sounds like it's going to be pretty similar to what Eddie Guerrero versus John Cena was from SmackDown back in 2003 or 2004. That's kind of how I feel that this is probably going to be like here.
Makes sense, yeah. Yeah. So I'm interested on seeing that, and obviously that's going to be like cinematic.
Yeah, that's going to be cinematic.
And we had one of the two Prime Target video packages they did, which both of them were well done. One was for Cole and Dream, and the other was for the Women's Championship. So this was like a good, like, I don't say documentary type of thing, but it was a good hype video. They followed Undisputed Era. They're taking a limo out to expensive restaurants celebrating Cole's 1 year anniversary being champion. I think this was said they said this was filmed on June 1st. So they're out there celebrating, and then, you know, they're cutting back and forth and are looking at Dream. He's like skating around outside Full Sail, like reminiscing about his and Adam Cole's history, with him taking him out with, I guess, in the parking lot, beating him, pinning him in, I think, that one tag match, and doing his Velveteen Dream thing. At one point, he's like on his like couch, like backstage, you know, what he does. And he's looking himself in the mirror. He does like the mirror on the wall thing, and he looks, and there's like a Prince lookalike in the mirror at one point, saying it was him. I was like, wait, is that Prince? It kind of looked like Prince, not gonna lie. It's pretty good. So that was that. Again, video production top notch from WWE for this, like always. Then we go back to backstage with Dexter Lumis, and the show is drawing, and it's you know those like caricature drawings you see like in the mall. It kind of looks like that, and it has Undisputed Era. I guess the rest of them besides Cole, I don't think Cole was there. In the back of a car that he was driving, and it had the In Your House logo. So something's gonna happen there. So we don't know on Sunday.
I'm starting to wonder too if he might be getting called up soon. I
Cole.
gotta feel, yeah, I gotta think that and we'll eventually talk about this later. But yeah, we'll we'll discuss it
Yeah.
later in our predictions there.
Next we get, which I liked, is Tony Nese versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. And what I like about this is that there's something more other than the cruiserweight tournament match. There's a little story there because Nese cost Swerve his match in the tournament, I believe. So there's some history there, and it wasn't like a one and done issue with them. And they're building, like, they need to build more of the cruiserweights, instead of what it was before, just the cruiserweight champion versus a challenger, and that's it. So there's something there which I like. I mean, another good match with this. At the end, Jack Gallagher comes out, so another puzzle piece here. It distracts, I say sort of Scott, and we assume Nice was gonna win, but Swerve gets the sunset flip win, roll up win. So this feud's going to continue. So there's three of them to go. So I like this. It's, you're doing something other than the actual championship match. So building some sort of more of a division. So I thought this was good. It's a good start on establishing something on NXT. Again, obviously, other than the championship matches. So we move on to a number one contenders match for the tag team titles. We had Undisputed Era versus Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus a Mysteria team. At first, I'm like, why is Undisputed Era in this match? And then Tom Phillips says, and I totally forgot, it was just like last week, that
that they're going to be basing Imperium, right?
No, Cole's negotiate. I'm going because Cole's negotiation saying Undisputed Era needs a chance for the titles. Like,
okay.
So I was like, oh, that makes sense why they're in this match, because I thought it was Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch was going to be in the fight for the titles. I was wrong. So that makes sense. And the mystery tag team is the returning Brizongo. Fandango's thing back from an injury. They did their entrance like they were dressed as astronauts. Their little thing on the stage thing. After SpaceX did their thing, so that was pretty cool. I totally forgot. Didn't know who was coming out. I totally forgot how their entrance goes. So triple threat match. All right match. I think it was good. I enjoyed it. Near the end, the finish, Dexter Lumis appeared out in the crowd, distracted Undisputed Era, and Brizongo gets the win. Surprisingly, at least for me.
I haven't heard. Yeah, I haven't heard too much about them, so yeah, that was a little bit surprising to see there.
It almost shouldn't be because they just returned. So when people come, Fandango hit his last dance leg drop off the top rope for the win. So at the end of this match, Imperium come out, do the stare down, and then as that happens, the what's their names? Rinku Singh and Savav Gujar, I killed that name, or Indus Seer. I don't like that name. I know it probably stands. I know it stands for something probably. I can never remember that name. It just doesn't roll off the tongue. At least for me. And Malcolm Bivens is with them, and they're staring down between the three. I know.
Yeah, he's about the only thing that I would care about with that.
I know it's not on AEW's level, but at least there are multiple teams here in the tag team division, and it's starting to be built. Again, like
they need to start to establish some actual teams, in my opinion. Just like no offense to, I mean, like obviously they have the Undisputed Era, who knows how long they're going to be there in NXT. They have Larkin and Danny Burch, and obviously those guys with Bivens. But man, like they need like at least 2 or 3 more tag teams here. Like this is like I don't think it's really talked about enough. Honestly, it's just how little tag teams that are actually in NXT right now. It's definitely something that I feel really needs to be addressed because it just doesn't seem like that it's a very big priority right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least from here, at least this segment showed me that there are multiple teams here because I see multiple in one segment. So there's something, like I said, it's not AEW strength, but at least it's something, and they're trying to build in house, if you will. So at least there's some positive there. Then we have a backstage segment between Chelsea Green and Robert Stone. I guess it was a post-show segment from last week, where she teamed with Charlotte Flair, and she fires Robert Stone and walks off. And
supposedly too, she's being called up to either SmackDown or like Raw, which honestly is probably a good way to go for her right now. I just don't think that she really needs to be in NXT.
Yeah. So so this pretty much all but confirms that because they're not bringing Robert Stone up. So he goes off chasing her, and in the next match we get Aaliyah versus Santana Garrett. And the thing here was Aaliyah was trying to that's the wrong phrase, join Robert Stone's brand. He comes out the ringside, like, what was that? Was it Fandango? And was that not Smoky? What was that parody that they did with? It wasn't Smoky Mountain Wrestling. It was Southpaw Wrestling. Southpaw Wrestling.
Yeah, Southpaw Wrestling.
With Fandango looking like all like out of it. This was
drunk and everything. Yeah,
this was Robert Stone, hair all messed up, just like his life. He came out
shattered.
And he's
looking.
And Aaliyah loses the match. Santana Garrett wins. Aaliyah's all destroyed, and like Robert Stone's like he just like dropped his glasses, his life ended. I like Santana Garrett. To me, she needs.
I've always been a really big fan.
To me, I think she needs either a good story or a gimmick change, or character change, if you will. Because right now, to me, she's like generic, like just a build a wrestler.
She's basically what Deonna Purrazzo was essentially.
Well, I mean, Purrazzo had some sort of something, even though it wasn't a lot. It was a little. There was some form of character with Deonna, even though it wasn't really explored, if you will. I tweeted this out to me, and it was almost like early Becky Lynch on NXT. Yeah, Becky had that like Irish dancing thing, but like she didn't have it. She was just a generic thing. Maybe that's a bad comparison. I don't know, but she's got at least she's got the look. I can see like down the road you can look back. We're gonna look back and see the early Santana Garrett in NXT, and like oh look how much he's changed. So it's there. And then after this we get the prime target about the women's match, and let me tell you, this might have been the best thing of the night, in my opinion. Not gonna lie, easily the best non-wrestling thing. This blew the first one out of the water with the Cole and Dream, in my opinion. This just was so well done. Like, we started out with, they were showing like Io Shirai close up, and it was like she was underwater,
Yeah,
and she was speaking. It was like the creepiest thing. It was so good. And then she's saying like a couple things, and then we cut to like in Rhea Ripley's house, and this was more like a documentary stuff, and it really profiled all three of these ladies, and gave more backstory to this match and of their personal lives, and it really makes me want to see this match now. So they talk about Rhea Ripley, like what she's doing now, how she's feeling after Mania, and all that. Then they show Charlotte how she started out in NXT, how she's saying she built this brand, and like all that stuff. And then they're showing Io Shirai. They show her history, pictures from her matches over in Japan, and how she started out in wrestling at, I believe it was 16. And they had other superstars talk about this, and yeah, like Sam Roberts, and like a part of his show, and oh my god, who else was on it? Pat McAfee clip from his show, which he was on. I mean, they were on both Prime Targets. Like, they were making this like real, and it was well shot, well done, and like this, at least for me, is maybe besides Karen Cross and Ciampa, I'm really interested and really want to see this match now. And this video package helped. Like, if one thing you need to go back and watch
I saw a part of it on Twitter, but yeah, I'll definitely be seeing this before Takeover.
Just the Sunday, production value, like the storytelling in this was great. I can blush over this, but let's move on. We got Cameron Grimes versus Bronson Reed. I believe he's returning. This was relatively quick. Cameron Grimes gets the win with the cave-in, which I don't like how that looks most of the time, how he finishes it. And I don't buy him beating Bronson Reed, because as his gimmick is, he's a thick man. Like, he's a big man. But besides that, I get why they used Reed, because after this match, Karrion Kross appears in the ring and hits his Doomsday finishing move on Reed, which looks impressive just based on the size of Reed. And he looks in the camera, talks to Ciampa, and goes, "This Sunday, special TikTok." And it cut to a commercial. So, and then obviously you see a little bit of Scarlett out there, which is never a bad thing. We come back, and it's announced that at In Your House we have a 6-woman tag match. We got Tegan Nox, Shotzi Blackheart, and Mia Yim versus Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. So
am I the only one who thinks that this is pretty unnecessary to have on the Takeover card? Especially too, now that they have like 6 matches now on this thing.
There's an argument to be made.
So yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6 matches.
Yeah, 6. I mean 6. I think 6 is probably the limit for them.
Oh yeah, like for the longest time they would only do 5.
I mean, it can go either way. I mean, there is history between everybody, so it kind of makes sense. It could. I mean, I can see both sides. I'm as I'm talking here, I can see either side. I'm debating in my head, but anyways, So the main event, we have the Cruiserweight Championship match, the finals. El Hijo del Fantasma versus Drake Maverick. There was some news from Impact that they were
Yeah,
showing.
yeah. And I texted you about this last night, man. I was like, well, I think I know who's probably winning the cruiserweight title, and to my surprise, I mean, like when the show eventually went off the air, I did not I did not see that coming. I'll just say that. But continue.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. Drake Maverick was shown on Impact, and as the video of all the wrestlers that were released from WWE. So that had the tease like, oh, obviously Drake's not going to win. This is his last match. So in this match, again, this was pretty good. I think I said it last week or whenever, Drake's facials and selling in these matches are one of the best. Like, he really sells. He really brings that emotion in, and it's so good. Another a good match with him. These two worked well together. As I was doing it, typing a tweet out, I think about that, I had another thought, and it happened right before I could even tweet it, about those masked men that were trying to abduct Phantasma.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks, it's like, oh, this would be a good way for them to come out, distract Phantasma, and Drake Maverick gets a win. They do come out. Phantasma's on the outside of the ring. Drake Maverick's on the inside. Before the masked man can get to Phantasma, Maverick does a tope suicida out and punches and knocks out and the masked man. Phantasma's back in the ring. Maverick gets in, and Phantasma hits the super kick into the Phantom Driver and gets the win, and is the new Cruiserweight champion. So we're all thinking Drake Maverick is done. He's pretty much holding back tears in the ring. He's talking to the camera, to the fans, saying thank you and all that. He's walking up the ramp, and you just felt like something was happening just with the camera angle. And then out comes Triple H with a clipboard in his hand with a new contract, and Drake Maverick signs, and he's officially part of NXT. So it looks like he's not going to Impact. It looks like he's not going anywhere, at least for the time being. And yeah, it's very interesting to bring the real life stuff into it. I'm really interested to see if this wasn't the plan, if he actually was getting released.
I'm going to wager that this probably wasn't the plan, that they really did cut him, but they saw with his video and how much attention that got, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll definitely bring him back now because we can make a pretty good storyline out of this. So I'm guessing,
and at the same time, he was already in the, I believe he was already announced for the tournament. Then they cut him, so it was probably give him the matches. Maybe I don't know if they were already taped. I don't know. I don't think so. Right. No, I don't think so.
No,
and see what happens. And I'm guessing he won his job back, just that, because I don't see them firing people, using a real life release thing for a storyline. Even I don't think anybody would want to do that. It's different, and it kind of worked in a way, in a sick, twisted way, because if I'm anybody else getting released, I'm like, well, what the hell?
Yeah, and I guarantee you that a lot of those guys probably wouldn't even do it unless they got some sort of guarantee that they were getting a contract offer
Yeah,
to
I mean, obviously
stay. Yeah,
they would probably do it before, not on TV like Maverick did, but this was obviously for storyline purposes. But yeah, it's very interesting how it worked out. So, uh,
so now, Matt, we
yeah,
move on to NXT Takeover in Your House, which, as we just discussed,
next.
there are now 6 matches on the card here. And the first thing, and we kind of already got into it, was the 6 women tag match, which I feel that this probably could have been saved for a future NXT episode. But as far as the match itself, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, and like Amelia Yim versus Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Honestly, Matt, I could probably see either team winning here. I don't think that there's a clear cut team who should probably go over here. I am leaning towards the baby faces, but I don't say that
Yeah,
really confidently.
me too.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because Candice got the win tonight.
You're right. That's
Over
kind of
Mia Yim in a thing.
mm-hmm.
And I think the Hills have been getting over. I think Raquel beat Shotzi, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Tegan's having some problems. So I'm going with the baby faces in this.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that as well. Then we move on to Damian Priest versus Finn. I gotta think that having Finn Balor is going over here. I don't really see any way that they actually put over Damian Priest, and just how that Triple H has been booking Finn. I mean, has he even been pinned in NXT? I I'm
I don't think
struggling.
so.
Right, so I think it's pretty clear that they're yeah, that this is going to continue. Finn wins clean.
Yeah,
You gotta think you gotta think at some point that this man is going to be getting a title shot, because I mean I'm not sure where else that you could possibly go with him when he just keeps on winning and winning here, and he's not getting a title shot, and especially with a Velveteen Dream, and I get a bigger story with him and Cole, but he has essentially hasn't been pinned since he has come back to NXT. So
But yeah, I'm going with Balor. I, I, at least part of me doesn't want Damian Priest to lose, just because I kind of like his character and build him up, but at the same time, it's Finn Balor, and I mean, they can do other things with Damian Priest, uh, and then go back. I mean, he's had title opportunities. Priest has, and he hasn't won.
right.
So it's kind of like they bring him up and drop him back down.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Balor.
Yeah. Then we go to Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. I feel that this is Karrion Kross all day long. I do think that
Yes.
that this will be a very competitive match, but they're going to be putting over Kross really strongly here. He's definitely is going to be a future title contender.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sooner than later.
I just do not see how he does not get put over, especially with how much from a production standpoint that they are investing into him.
And this is you don't beat him clean.
Nope.
Obviously this shouldn't be a messed up finish DQ. No.
Mm-hmm.
And Ciampa's okay if he loses. He's at that point.
Yep.
He's at that point, if he loses,
he'll be fine.
it's okay to lose sometimes. At this point in your career, he's over like Rover. He's good.
Yeah.
Establish the carrying cross, and you're good. And it's going to be a hard hitting match.
Especially too with the amount of call ups that have been happening with NXT.
Yes.
They need to start to build up some other people in this.
Yes,
it's definitely the place to start.
Build Cross up, everything's fine. It's going to be a hard hitting match between these two. It's going to be. It should be good.
Right. Then we get an NXT Women's Championship match, which this is a triple threat, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Charlotte versus Io Shirai versus Rhea Ripley. I'm hoping that Io finally wins this title here. I think they probably are going to be putting the title back onto Rhea though. I just think regardless, they need to get this title off of Charlotte, because personally I don't think that she's doing NXT's women's division any favors right now. She's not really helping them from a ratings standpoint against Dynamite every week, and it just really just doesn't feel really necessary for her to be champion, especially too when she's appearing still on every other show during the freaking week. I'm not sure how you feel about this, man, but I think that they should put the title onto Io. To me, Rhea's steam has completely faded, and she really hasn't gotten back whatever she had back in December.
The COVID stuff screwed her.
The COVID stuff screwed her.
The COVID stuff screwed her. Yeah, with no fans.
And it just seems like that ever since her title went back in December, she really just has gone absolutely nowhere but downward. So I think Io is the way to go here. And yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing it.
There's something inside of me that, and I think I'm going on your method. I think for Mania, I'm, as much as I want Io, something's telling me Charlotte somehow retains.
Yeah, that's kind of what
I'm leaning to that. I will gladly be wrong.
I hope you are.
I would gladly be wrong on this. I mean, I know Charlotte's good. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to bet against Charlotte. At least right now. What?
You mean I'm Io and like I'm not Charlotte? You said like Charlotte.
Did I?
Twice. Yeah. But
that's how much my brain's telling me Charlotte.
Yeah.
My heart wants Io, but I can't. The only thing I can see, crap, I don't want Rhea to take the pin here.
Honestly, I don't think it would be the worst thing, just as long as
it wouldn't be. See,
as it's Io pinning her in our Charlotte again.
Yeah, I could see that would be okay. Yeah. It's just I want Rhea back to where she like. There's probably a way they're doing it that I'm not thinking of. That's fine.
Honestly, I think for her to actually get some steam back, she's probably is going to have some sort of
chase,
either that or as a heel.
I can see
think
there is history Io versus Rhea. See, now that's swaying me. Son of a crap.
Like I think I just think EO is a better way to go right now. But
crap.
But
I want EO. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm really am torn because it's the Charlotte factor, but EO versus Rhea has some roots building up here. Sure. So I don't know. I am torn.
All right. So then we will move on to the NXT North American Championship between Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano. In this match here, Matt, I could see either guy possibly going over here. I'm slightly going towards Keith Lee. However, I don't know. Like this one is a toss up for me.
Yeah.
Because they are giving Johnny a lot of steam right now as a heel now with his wife Candice. So I can very well see Johnny Gargano winning the title here. However, Keith Lee just hasn't had a really meaningful title reign to this point yet. Like he's had some very good matches with guys like Dijak and Damian Priest. But I mean, it's just like he's finally in a feud that feels important, I guess that you could say. So I'm going to stick with Keith Lee here. The only way that I see that he drops the title is either A, he's going to be challenging for the NXT Championship, or he's being called up, which I don't think he's being called up.
No.
So I think he'll probably retain here.
Based on how, again, the match ended this week or tonight, I'm going to say Keith Lee. It's another thing. Like I don't want to hurt Johnny's momentum, but I think he's fine.
Yeah, he lost isn't gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's a Ciampa situation in a way. That he's fine. So I'm gonna go with Keith Lee. I'll go with Keith Lee to retain. Yeah.
Then we move on to the last thing on the card here is for the NXT Championship, which is being branded as a backlot brawl between Adam Cole versus the Velveteen Dream. I think we are getting a new NXT champion here, and I also think that this could be the start in Adam Cole getting called up to either Raw or SmackDown. Just something to keep an eye on as well. His contract is up, I think, within like 3 or 4 months here. I definitely feel like that they are going to want to basically give him every incentive to basically resign. I think he's going to be called up to either Raw or SmackDown. It's going to be in some very meaningful programs. As he's caught up, kind of the same thing that's going on with Riddle right now. His contract, I believe, is up sometime this fall or something. So I think that's kind of
early
where things. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know. Excuse me. Are they, since they're NXT, are they NXT contracts and make more money if they're moved to Raw and SmackDown? Yep. Are they special because they're who they are?
No, basically from everything that you read is basically contracts on either Raw or SmackDown are significantly higher.
Yes.
But too, especially with Cole, he was such a high profile signing when he did sign that he's probably doing pretty good right now.
He's probably making top end NXT dollars.
Right. Yeah. It kind of similar with Balor, but yeah, I just and two, like it just doesn't seem like that there's any other really any more things that they can really do with him as champion. It kind of feels that he's accomplished everything in NXT. I think it's time for him to drop it and move on to either Raw or SmackDown.
A lot of way more fresh matchups on the quote unquote main roster.
Him versus Kevin Owens.
I'm just him versus
Brian.
Brian, Seth,
AJ.
Oh Jesus, AJ.
Like
Roman Reigns. Once he comes back.
Seth.
Yeah, Seth. Yeah.
Just like I mean, I just don't think that there's really anything else for him to really do, and with some of the cuts and the releases, both on SmackDown and on the Raw rosters are pretty short right now. Than what they were. So I think that's probably is what's going to eventually happen.
If you look back at his career in NXT, he's done a lot of crap.
Things disconnect again.
So he's done a lot of crap. So again, I'm going to agree with you. I think Dream gets it. He should get the title. And Cole can move on. They can do whatever they need to do. Get it on somebody fresh. He has it for a year, and that's a great accomplishment in itself. Over a year, so we'll go from there. So, Velveteen Dream for the win, new NXT champion. In your house.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. That's probably going to do it for this video. We thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to our NXT Takeover reaction show, which is going to be on Sunday, and also stay tuned for our Saturday weekly podcast, which that will be dropping on the channel at 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be discussing whether it's sports, wrestling, or whatever.
Probably similar topics from the last couple weeks.
I know a few things that come to mind. Major League Baseball, we're seeing some things going on there. The NBA has officially said an actual date to come back.
Drew Brees is in hot water.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on that. That's oh god,
that was taking over Twitter.
As soon as I saw that, I said, oh god.
I thought of 2 seconds as I was taking a before I slept early this afternoon. Like I said, my sleep schedule's all screwed up. Long day today, and I was like, that's not good. And
I was like,
and then I woke up again and I looked and it got worse. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, literally every athlete came out responding to him, but we shall talk about that on the podcast. So as always, guys, make sure that you follow our Twitter page, which also we would like to we would like to thank you for interacting with us. We're going to be continuing this, whether it's Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown. Also, I'm going to be on there for some MMA. I'm going to be doing it on there as well. So stay tuned for that, and comment, subscribe, all of the usual business. And for Matt, for John, we shall see you guys this weekend. Take it easy.